Division, scanning foreign press reports and writing briefings for one of the most powerful figures in the Third Reich, Hermann Göring, who had come to see himself as something of a mentor to the young aristocrat. But Schulze-Boysen was, in fact, a daring, sometimes reckless, anti-Nazi. Aided by his wife, Libertas, he planned not only to reveal some of the regime's most heinous crimes, but also to turn over its military secrets to the enemy. As war consumed the world, he would become one of the most significant spies at the heart of the Reich. Arvid Harnack watched the spectacle of the birthday parade from outside the economics ministry where he worked. He had met Schulze-Boysen and, terrified by his bravado, had distanced himself from him. But soon their paths would cross again. Serious and fiercely intelligent, Harnack was a high flyer, one of the nation's greatest academic minds who had studied in England and the United States. At the ministry, he was the perfect Nazi, working to ensure that Germany had the economic power Hitler would need to carry out his will, at home and abroad. But in reality, Harnack was at the center of a growing opposition movement to Hitler and was already sharing some of the Reich's most confidential secrets with both Washington and Moscow. As he watched an SS man carrying a staff on which stood a gilded eagle clutching a swastika in its talons, he wondered what his wife Mildred would make of all this. She was American, but loved Germany. She had recently visited England and Denmark and seen what the foreign press was reporting about the Nazis. She despaired when young students she had taught at the University of Berlin told her that Hitler was saving Germany from the Jews. That Thursday, busy passing Harnack's secrets to America's only spy in Germany, Mildred had not wanted to be anywhere near the parade. Later, Harnack would tell her that the sheer length of time it took the troops to goose-step past was a reminder of how Hitler appeared to be taking Germany and its people nearer to war. As a display of military might, the parade was like nothing the foreign dignitaries and members of the international press had ever seen. But it obscured one thing, that there were people in uniforms of the Third Reich who not only had plotted to overthrow Hitler, but also hoped to assassinate him. Lieutenant Colonel Hans Oster, a talkative, open, and honest man who had served bravely in the Great War, despised Hitler and his politicization of all aspects of German society. Among friends, he would insist on only referring to the Führer dismissively as Emil. His senior role in German military counterintelligence, the Abwehr, allowed him to discover the real truth behind the torture of political dissidents, Jews, and religious figures, and of the concentration camps. Oster, a pastor's son, believed Hitler intended to drive Germany's Jews to destruction and felt a growing responsibility before God for their rescue. His friend, Hans von Dohnanyi, a studious-looking man with dark hair swept to one side and thin metal-rimmed glasses, was collecting a chronicle of shame, a legal file of Hitler's crimes to be used in a prosecution of the Führer following a coup. Oster was intent not only on resisting the Nazi regime, but also on removing Hitler. By that spring morning in 1939, he had already planned one coup and was now planning another. For Oster, there would be no trial of Adolf Hitler. He planned to kill him. Dohnanyi was a close friend of the Harnacks and brother-in-law to theologian Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Through such links, the academic, military, civil service, and religious dissenters found themselves connected. Pastor Bonhoeffer had spoken out against Hitler from the start, and was now banned from speaking in Berlin. He had returned to Germany 2 days before Hitler's birthday, having been on a visit to England, and, like many, agonized over how to avoid compulsory military service in the war that he was certain was coming.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.